Welcome to the Kobe Bryant Film Room. And guys, today I have a special treat for you guys. This is from the Case of Kobe Bryant as the GOAT channel on YouTube. Like and subscribe his page, guys. Listen to all his content. He is phenomenal, right? But I want to get into this subject of the NBA MVP award is nothing but a popularity contest. Now, I've been saying this for the past couple of videos, but we're going to see what Mr. The Case for Kobe Bryant as the GOAT has to say about it.
Putting out his straw poll. He talked to 100 voters, not 100 guys on the street, not 100 people in his phone, 100 voters in 28 markets and across the world, the people that actually vote, and it wasn't even a discussion. Steph got 94 out of the 100 votes. Durant got 2. Jokic got none. This is the biggest landslide we have seen in the modern era at this point in the season. Does that mean that's where it's going to be in March? Of course not. Does that mean Nikola Jokic doesn't have a case? Of course not. But right now, the people who actually vote think Steph Curry is the MVP by a greater margin than Secretariat won the Belmont. Yep. And that's just a reality. You can take it from there wherever you want to go.
Yeah, but no, people who actually vote and throughout MVP history in all sports have been wrong from time to time, and spectacularly wrong at times. From what you're hearing quickly, is there...
You see, Max Kellerman's one of those guys who talk about, oh, he won 5 MVPs, 6 MVPs, 8 MVPs, guys. And you hear guys like that, and then they contradict themselves, and then they say MVPs don't matter when certain players win it, right?
Because Jokic just won the award and people don't really believe he's the best player in the league. Is there any of that going on?
You see how he's using that? To put whoever he wants to put and dismiss them?
You know, Steph's numbers this year are actually a little bit less than they were last year. But the Warriors are so great that it's overwhelming everybody.
You see that? So the MVP used to be an individual award, but he said that Steph did better the last season, right? Does that make sense, y'all? So we pick and choose who gets to win an award, and then that's how we rank guys. That's bullshit. That's a stupid way to rank niggas.
In 2005, Steve Nash won the second of his 2 consecutive MVPs, and he had a teammate, Sean Marion, who finished 14th in the MVP voting that year. Now, tied with Sean Marion was a forward by the name of P.J. Brown.
Oh, hey, they're adding there.
Have you seen these Priceline deals? Where are we going?
I'm going wherever the extreme winds take me.
P.J. Brown averaged 11 points a game.
And see, P.J. Brown, he was a pretty good player, but come on.
Now, P.J. Brown was a good defender. He had been 3 times selected all defense, but this was not one of those seasons. No. So he finished 14th in the league in MVP voting. This guy averaged 10 points a game, was not all defense. His team won 18 games.
Well, let's rewind that.
This guy averaged 10 points a game, was not all defense. His team won 18 games.
Y'all hear that shit?
That year. Nevertheless, the panel of sportscasters and media members, they thought he was one of the best players in the league. Second in the league in scoring that year was Kobe Bryant. He received 0 MVP votes. So I want you to understand.
Y'all hear that shit? Zero. They hated this nigga, man. That's why we here today. Fucking zero, man. It's bullshit.
Kobe Bryant received fewer MVP votes
Yo, that's bullshit, man.
than PJ Brown, whose team was bad, who was an 11-point per game scorer, and wasn't even one of the best defenders in the league that year. Okay? You know that the next year, Kobe pretty much by himself would take Marion and Steve Nash to 7 games.
That's right. He was busting their ass, dropped 40 on them boys, 40 a night, dragging their ass.
In the playoffs. But both Steve Nash and Sean Marion would finish ahead of Kobe. Kobe didn't even get any votes.
Man, that's a motherfucking shame. And they still shitting on him now. By the way, did the news cover Dwayne Wade's comments? I seen Skip Bayless. I actually reacted to a video. Skip Bayless reacted to a LeBron choking in the playoffs video. Which I don't even know where the fuck that video came from. I searched, guys. But I seen the Dwayne Wade video. That one went viral. They didn't touch it, y'all. You know why they didn't touch it? They don't want Kobe to be the best. They want to remove him so they can insert LeBron.
But of course, this was after Kobe so-called jettisoned Shaq, and this was after the break trial.
Lies.
I'll bring this up to make a point. The MVP race is nothing but a popularity contest. And I do not consider the number of MVPs to be a valid criterion upon which to determine who the greatest.
And so here's the thing, y'all. Before he finishes his statement, how many of y'all rank players according to how many MVPs they win? How many finals MVPs? How many regular season MVPs? How many defensive player of the years? Right? How many of y'all rank players like that? And now you come here to this channel and we exposing it. It doesn't make sense. Because somebody won't vote for a guy, that means he won't ballin'? That means he ain't make history? What if they didn't vote for Westbrook to win the MVP and he averaged a triple-double? Right? What if they said, well, they did do it to Michael Jordan. We don't feel like Michael Jordan should get it no more. We're going to give it to this guy. Come on, man. Jokic could have won last year. It went to Embiid. Because why? Because I think race did play a factor in it. And listen, I'm black. But I do think race did play a little bit of a factor in it, especially after Kendrick Perkins' statements. Mark Jackson admitted on live TV, Jokic probably should have got it. Come
Player
on,
in NBA
we gotta be real, man. We gotta be honest about this shit, bro.
history was. It's nothing but
Joel Embiid practically begged for that shit. Begged for that award.
it's basically listen. You could go into the country's homeless shelters and pick a random sampling of 100 homeless men that will say that they followed NBA basketball. And you can ask those homeless men who they thought was the MVP, and you get just about as valid an answer. Okay? These people, 94% of them think Steph Curry is the MVP. When there's literally nothing different about Steph other than that his team is better. Meanwhile, Nikola Jokic is having arguably the greatest season in NBA history.
So this was back. This was a year ago, y'all. But I found this video to be relevant to today because here we are again. where Jokic, right, is supposed to win the MVP, didn't win the MVP, right?
No big deal. Now, remember, Nikola Jokic won the award last year. So it's not like he's sneaking up on anyone. Okay? The league is fully aware, like in some seasons, you can make the case that a player's impact, maybe understated because he's just, he just kind of snuck up on the league, like maybe a Julius Randle last year. If D'Lo's traditional stats were a little better, he'd be seriously in the MVP discussion. That would be a scenario wherein people, you could say, well, it's a small market team. They're not really, think of maybe like a Sabonis or, someone from a small market. That's not the case here, though. Nikola Jokic won the award. So for the media to think that he's the MVP, that Steph is the MVP, they have to be disregarding Jokic's superior stats this year.
Returns all new, live in studio, Monday on ABC.
Thanks, honey.
Wait, Wawa has pizza? Wawa has pizza?
The fact that Kobe has the same number of MVPs as people like, Dirk Nowitzki. Derrick Rose has one MVP. Is Derrick Rose even a Hall of Famer? Probably, but Wes Unseld has one MVP. Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal has one MVP.
Media got around to giving Kobe basically a career MVP in 2008 because enough of them started to like him by 2008. He had gotten his team to the number one seed, along with the signing of Pau Gasol. So they said, we can't let him retire without him winning at least one.
And see, that's stupid as hell, because Kobe's best season was nowhere near his MVP season.
So we'll make this the season. That wasn't even one of his best seasons.
I just said that. Yep.
There's no criteria to this award. Okay? So when we talk about MVP, it can't be taken seriously. There has to be a more rigorous standard. Personally, I'm not really sure why the media votes for any awards. Like I think the players and the coaches should be voting for these awards.
The reason I think the media votes for these awards, me personally, and seeing what they're doing to Mr. Kobe beating Bryant today, is to control narratives, right? The media can decide, the NBA can decide who they want to promote and who they don't want to promote, right? So they use MVPs as a way to say, hey, look, if we don't like this guy, we can pull the plug. You know what I'm saying? Just like Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant will never win another MVP. Never. I don't give a fuck what he does. He'll never win one. Right? There's just a certain narrative that sticks to you. That if they don't want you to win, you ain't gonna win. Just like they said about Giannis. They said until Giannis wins more, and he just won a championship, until he wins more title, right? They weren't gonna vote for him. Media members actually said this, right? So they're not gonna vote for certain guys no matter what they do. Jokic made history last year. Didn't win. Right? Do you know why he didn't win? Because they felt like giving him 3 MVPs in a row would put him in the Larry Bird category, would put him with the Wilt and other all-time greats. So they didn't want him to be viewed like that. They said, no. He don't deserve all that. Right? It's all about storylines, narratives. And I believe the NBA controls these games. Y'all, we got to use our heads. We see all these whistles in the playoffs. Right? We saw last year the Lakers made the playoffs. Austin Reeves shooting as many free throws as prime Shaq. You know what I mean? Like, we can't be stupid. We know how they made the playoffs. The Warriors, the Lakers shoot damn near a record amount of free throws against the Warriors, and the Warriors drove the ball more than the Lakers. I'm a Lakers fan and I'm saying this shit. They're controlling the outcomes as much as they possibly can. Not saying other teams can't win, but bro, they were trying to hand it. They did not want Steph to beat LeBron because it would made him look bad. So what they had to do, call every damn foul they possibly could. Right? But let's go. I digress. Let's go.
And if not the players and the coaches, the fans should be. But here you have basically this select club of media members, and they all get together and talk to each other, and it just becomes an echo chamber. There's no way that there should be such a unanimous consensus on Steph Curry. I mean, yeah, it's great what the Warriors are doing.
And remember, Shaq was supposed to be unanimous as well, right? And one guy, I think, one guy voted for, I think, who the other guy voted for? Carmelo Anthony or some ignorant ass shit. And Shaq didn't go unanimous. You know what I mean?
And, you know, he broke the award and all that's great, but that's got nothing to do with him being...
I'm going to give you an example. In the 90s, John Stockton, when Carmelo won his MVP award with John Stockton was putting up similar numbers to Steve Nash, and Carmelo was putting up similar numbers to Amari Stoudemire, right? Now, check this out. 2006, they changed the criteria. They flipped it. They said, look, they gave Steve Nash the award, the point guard the award, and the power forward didn't win the award. But in the 90s, Karl Malone won the award, the power forward, and John Stockton ain't win it. Right? Not saying Karl Malone ain't deserve the award, but it's just like, yo, like, what is the criteria for this shit? Who's the best player on the team? Right? Who's more impactful on the team? It's going based on how they feel. It's going based on how they feel. You know what I'm saying? A guy with another All-Star wins 7 more games than the guy without an All-Star on his team. And he went in the point gap was like 15 points a game. Kobe made all defensive teams. So you know it ain't about defense. We talking about Nash and Kobe. It's not about defense. It's not about scoring. Then what's it about? Teammates. That's what it's about. So are you the MVP most valuable if you have the better teammates?
The most valuable player. Steph isn't even in the top 5. I mean, there are 5 players in the NBA more important to their team or more outstanding than Steph. Not many more than that. Certainly KD. Certainly Giannis. Certainly Nikola Jokic. Certainly LeBron. You know, a couple more people I'm sure that escape my mind. But I mean, I just named at least 4. I mean, I'm pretty sure DeMar DeRozan. What really frustrates me about this award, you know, I remember in Michael Jordan's prime, after the Bulls won the championship, won their first championship, it was almost a foregone conclusion that he was going to win the MVP, because the consensus was that the Bulls were the best team and he was the best player. Okay. But then that standard changed when Kobe was clearly the best player on the best team. You know, when Kobe was the best player on the best team, which would have been 2009. Okay. Then we started looking at LeBron's stats. So
the okie doke, right? They pulled the okie doke on Kobe ass, right? It started becoming a team game when it was time for Kobe to win his. But before, it was always judged on the individual. Kobe was judged as a teammate. LeBron was judged as an individual.
I don't really know what the criteria is, you know, and I just think it's basically nonsense. My way to evaluate this is I look at what statistical factors most contribute to a championship, and I've identified that being selected to the all-defense team and scoring 25 points a game most correlates to winning championships.
I believe so too. This is the reason why I believe in my heart Milwaukee is going to win the championship. It's either going to be Milwaukee or it's going to be the Lakers, right? In my heart, I believe that, right? And Denver can slip in there too because Denver has the defense as well. But you need offense and defense, right? And those three teams, I feel like, are the teams that have the most of that. Now, if Golden State can sign a big man, get a defensive big, then they'll be in the running too. But I don't believe I believe if Golden State runs into the Lakers, the shit that happened last year is going to be worse. It's going to happen again because they still haven't addressed their concerns. You need a fucking big man. Get one. And so if I was a Warriors fan, I'd be very upset right now. I'd be pissed they didn't sign Dwight. Like, what big man, unless they have a young guy coming in who they expect to be good, what big man do you guys have? Y'all Warriors fans, y'all tell me, what big man do y'all see yourselves putting in the game that can help you beat these teams?
Okay. Players that have done that have won the NBA championships about a third of the time. And as I've said in other videos, you cannot win the NBA championship without being on the all-defense team. And that's part of what bothers me about Steph, and that is because, you know, we know Steph has gotten better defensively, but we know that the reason the Warriors are so good is in very large part the fact that they are playing with one of the best defenders in NBA history. So, I mean, you know, who are the Warriors? Are they this team?
Now, you guys know I don't like Draymond Green. I think he runs his mouth. I think he caps his ass off. He talks way too much. He talks down to people, I believe, sometimes. But I had to look back at certain things with Draymond, and the Warriors did not have a better winning record without Draymond. And that's a fact. So Draymond, even though I don't like him, he is impactful towards winning. And their defense definitely gets better with him in there. So he's a superstar for the Warriors, right? Now, I don't think he could do that on other teams. But I think under that system, he's perfect.
Are they the team that was, you know,
I'm not a big Draymond Green guy, man. I'm just not. You know, I used to be. I looked at him when he first was in the league, and I said, okay, this dude, you know what I'm saying? This dude, like, but he just talks too much, and I feel like he be kissing ass, and you know. And, you know, at first when he started his podcast, I said, okay, I said there's gonna be a player out here to chop up the game and stuff like that. But he just rubbed me the wrong way, man. It feels like when he was competing, he was just too complimentary towards the Lakers. I felt like then when he punched Jordan Poole, and you know, it's just certain things he does that just rubs me the wrong way. The Cornbread Maxwell situation, but you can't deny his impact on that team. You just can't.
Got to the playoffs last year because they didn't have quite the shooters, and Draymond was injured most of the season. So Kobe's one MVP should be basically eliminated as a factor. It's basically to make the point that Kobe Bryant only had one MVP is merely saying that the media doesn't like him and never did.
That's all it says. That's all it means. So when fans say that to me, I'm like, that's all it means is the media was unwilling to recognize the truth. You know what I'm saying? He still was had the best season. Just because you give it to another guy doesn't mean the fact doesn't remain. He still had one of the greatest seasons of all time. You know what I'm saying? And he had a better season than Steve Nash. Yes, the fuck, he did.
We know that. But that's got nothing to do with MVP.
Hey, it's me, your skin. This acne craves a powerful cleanse. New CeraVe Acne Wash treats.
I think to credit to other sports writers, media members in other sports, I'm thinking about baseball in particular, they tend to do a better job of being objective. And I've just got two words, Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds was always disliked.
And they hated that nigga. Man, they hated Barry Bonds, bro. They wanted to catch him so bad. They hated this nigga.
But that didn't stop the baseball writers from electing him MVP 7 times. He was clearly the best player, regardless of how he was accomplishing what he was accomplishing. He was the best player, and they didn't let the fact that they didn't like him personally.
Barry Bonds was fucking incredible back in the day. Nigga hit a home run every time he batted. They had to walk that nigga just to like, hey, just take a base, bro. Hey, that's Barry. Hey, just walk, bro. You good? They wouldn't even try that nigga, bro. If you gonna throw a ball Barry Bonds away, bro, you better throw that shit like low to the dirt. That shit probably won't even make it to the plate. That low.
Thanks there.
You better roll that bitch. You better roll that bitch on the ground.
Their judgment. You know, Kevin Durant famously called many members of the media fanboys. And I think there's something to that. I think that it's probably the nature of the sport that media members get really close to particular players, and the players that tend to be
inviting players to the people to parties, and you could tell. I did a video on Keyshawn Johnson. Me and my homeboy was talking about this. We were texting each other, and he said, "Man, I just watched your video on and I agree with you about Keyshawn. Keyshawn Captain, right? Because I believe Keyshawn. Somebody needs to ask him, how many parties have you been to? How many LeBron James parties and social gatherings have you been to in the last couple of years?" And I guarantee you, Keyshawn's within that inner circle. Shannon is within that inner circle, right? Back when there was questions about LeBron's injury, Shannon wouldn't report on it, right? He went on TV and actually admitted it, right? Withholding back information, right? So these people are partying. They're part of Clutch Sports. They're ingratiating themselves with people. They're going to Shaq's pool parties, all sorts of shit, right? Hanging out, getting drunk together, sleeping together. You never know what the fuck's going on.
In addition to great, but also gregarious, and say the right thing. I think
and like LeBron said to Richard Jefferson, yeah, ESPN won't fire you. You're my friend.
Media members, they fall in love and they create narratives that overinflate.
And I want to say this too. And I love Magic Johnson, but Magic Johnson was accused of things, I won't say the word, but things back in the day, and the media never talks about it. Kobe's is brought up every other day, right? Even after he died, they brought it up, right? Magic Johnson demanded a trade request. No mention of trade requests ever when you talk about Magic Johnson. But Kobe asking for a trade is always brought up, right? Getting coaches fired and things like that. But with Kobe, it's a different standard, y'all. It's a different standard. It's crazy.
The true impact of the player's career, and I certainly noticed this phenomenon during the Shaq and Kobe years. Shaq was more likable, and a lot of people in the media just really resented Kobe and wanted him to stay in his lane. And I think they love LeBron, they love Michael Jordan in his era, and
them niggas worship Michael Jordan. They worship LeBron James. Those are two men they worship, bro. Dudes have goat masks on TV, pretty much bending over and kissing the ass, bro. With Michael Jordan, it's more of the God aspect. You know what I'm saying? He's like, they talk about him as if it's blasphemous. It's God in tennis shoes. Oh my God. Shit like that. With LeBron, it's what did Shannon say? One born to Gloria James in a manger. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. It's like, bro, come on. In a manger, bro? Come on.
It's sort of...
I know it's entertainment, but, come on. What type of message are we sending to the kids to be fanboys and just dick ride? You know what I'm saying?
I think other sports tend to do a better job of kind of getting out of their feelings and evaluating the players objectively. That's why, my standard is a little bit different, But I will reiterate. I think to point out, Michael's 5 MVPs and LeBron's 4, and ask the question, well, how can Kobe be greater than those two players? The answer is that the media didn't like Kobe as much as they liked Michael and LeBron, and I think that's quite evident when you really examine it.
It's a fact. I think the media held grudges against Kobe. Kobe should have at least 3, in my opinion. At least. But that's how they do, man. To this day, they're not covering the news. They're suppressing news. Anything that praises Kobe, they're also throwing salt on it. And so when you got Marcellus Wiley saying KD is better than Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is out of hand, bro. So, but this is the Kobe Bryant Film Room. I'm gonna end it here. Hope y'all enjoy the content, these videos. I'm popping them out for y'all, man. And I'll see y'all later.